Hey everyone, Joshua here with Minecraft, and we're back to a new Minecraft video. And today, which before I even go further, I just want to apologize about the skin. I don't know why it does it, but whenever you make a skin in this character creator, it always just gets rid of your skin, and it always switches to the default. So I apologize that my awesome looking skin that I made isn't showing, but I was actually requested. This was actually sort of a request of. Well, this is sort of kind of still going into the request, but talking about XP. Going through XP, especially since the whole potato exploit glitch is now patched, of course, that a lot of y'all may have known about, obviously, but now I can't really give examples of, like, basic farm tutorials, of course, like building. I can't really give an example, of course, of how I would build these. Because these mob spawner ones are kind of complicated to build. So, I will just say, I can't really explain on building them, on building it. So I just apologize for that. But I can explain it, though. I just can't really build it because when it comes to the mob spawner builds, or, using dungeons for the farms, which, yeah, those are normally good ones. I'm trying to find the night vision. The different colored potions. The different potion colors I'm still not used to. They changed the whole color palettes of the potions, so I can't figure out which one is which. I'm still not used to it. Okay, there we go. Trying to find night vision. This is a pretty good cave, though, honestly. But, again, I just want to talk about the mob spawners, really. Now, first of all, y'all would obviously know zombie spawners, right? Zombie spawners. Now, again, when it comes to the certain amount of XP, I can't explain exactly how much XP, of how good it is. Again, I don't know so much about farms. There's only just a few little amount of farms that I know. But a lot of y'all would also say, well, a lot of y'all may also say spider spawners or skeleton spawners. Skeleton, spider, zombie spawners. Again, there's basic tutorials on that different people made about how to create these actual farms with the mob spawners. I'm not really good with those. Holy dang, that's why is there a lot of mobs over there. And of course, blaze spawners. Y'all would see a lot of videos on YouTube doing tutorials on good blaze spawners. There are amazing tutorials on blaze spawners, and they get a good amount of XP too. Drones also, especially if you're wanting a trident farm. If you are wanting a trident farm, it's also good too. If you want a pillager farm, yeah, there are pillager or raid farms too. Raid farms really do give a good amount of XP as well. But, again, just really can't say exactly, or trying to explain it as good as I can. Now, there are phantom spawners, or there are not phantom spawners, of course, but there are phantom farms, which I have made in some of my old worlds that I don't know if it works anymore, of course, just because of different updates, right, with different updates. But I know I have built phantom farms, and they worked pretty good, too, and I got a certain amount of XP. Endermen. There are Enderman farms in the end, obviously, in the end, the farms with them. Hoglins and piglins in the nether. There are good farms with them. There are ghast ones, too. And Skulk. Remember, Skulk. If you break Skulk, it gives you XP, right? XP comes out of Skulk. So, if you go to the end, or not the end, the ancient city, y'all can mine up Skulk. Not with silk touch, but with just a regular pickaxe, and you can get, or either fortune too, I think would work too. can get certain good amount um of XP from these. And not just these skull blocks, but the other variants too. Now we are going to have to get out of the cave though, because things are going to get chaotic here. Or at least go into a bigger part, because with these two spawn eggs. And obviously, these aren't in the creative inventory, right? These spawn eggs aren't in the creative inventory. You have to go into the commands. You'll have to do the /give command with the Ender Dragon or the Wither spawn eggs. But yeah, there are Wither farms too. There are a pretty good amount of Wither farms that y'all can find too. Now, of course, it just depends too. What update? It depends what update as well. Now, of course, a lot of people would use the end gateway exploit, which, again, I don't know if it would work, so I do apologize. And, of course, obviously, I'm just going to let that Wither be. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that Wither to be. I'm actually just going to let that... Oh, it shows my skin right there. What? Okay, it still shows that I'm Alex, but it says that I'm Alex, but it's showing that I'm using the skin I created. Oh, there it is. Yay! Yay, my skin. I know, it's a mess, ain't it? I just used random stuff. I just picked random stuff and used it. But now we have the Ender Dragon, which, like I said, I was going into Spectator, obviously. I meant to go into Spectator. Let's go into Spectator and easily make our way up here. Man, a lot of lush areas, I can just say, in this area. But yeah, there's... Oh, look at that. No reason there's lush, because of a lush tree. Or an azalea tree. But we're not focusing on the azalea right now. Jeez Louise, look at this though. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in the same area. Again, I know I'm getting distracted, but still. Azalea, 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 azalea. 5 different azalea trees right close to each other. Azalea? Jeez Louise. There are and of course there's a lush cave underneath, but that is crazy, I can just say. But anyway, again, we're getting off topic. Ender Dragon. Yeah, there are Ender Dragon exploits, of course. The Ender Dragon's just gonna fly away, of course, but... Well, just respawning the Ender Dragon, right? Just respawning the Ender Dragon, or beating the Ender Dragon for the first time in the world. Like, if you made a new world, or have a world that you haven't even fought the Ender Dragon, y'all can... Obviously, y'all would know all the amount of XP that you can get. I know it's going to look weird with night vision on. The end dimension looks weird with night vision. Like, that does not look right. Which I know of an exploit. Which, you know what? Yeah, I know of an exploit to kill the Ender Dragon. Hashtag, if I do this right, kill at E. There we go. And yeah, I killed all the Endermen too, because it did kill all entities. But there we go. Again, gives a lot of XP here. And if I go into survival, let's... Just for example, let's don't look at the Enderman. Y'all can save just from this XP that I get. All this XP that I get from the Ender Dragon. In a world that I have not fought the Ender Dragon, the first time you fight the Ender Dragon in your world, it gives you a lot of XP. And y'all can see, we had 0 XP, right? We had 0 XP. And we got up to at least 58 levels. At least 58 levels of XP. Yeah, 58 levels. We had 0. And then once we picked up the XP from the Ender Dragon, we got 58. Oh. Probably gonna get killed. I did not mean to look at the Ender Dragon. But again, at least 58. Probably more with these levels over here. But still. But of course, if we rebirth the Ender Dragon and do it again, you will get less XP. Again, I am trying to explain as much as I can. Again, there's not a... I don't really build a whole lot of farms. XP farms. Right? I don't... At least by myself. I normally watch, like, actual videos to actually... like, tutorials from different people to actually make these... or different farms. I'm just trying to explain it of what I've seen before. But yeah, if we spawn the Ender Dragon again... Like if we summon it. And then, let's say we do hashtag kill entities again. Just to make the fight easier. It does give a lot of drop a lot of XP, it seems. But it's not normally a huge amount as you would get in the first time, right? Like the first time that you go into the end and fight the Ender Dragon, you're gonna get a lot of XP. But this time around, you won't get a whole massive... I don't think. I could be wrong. They could have patched it, right? They could have patched it. Anything that I'm saying, it could have been patched. Obviously. It could have been patched. So, maybe the Ender Dragon, after you respawn it, does drop a whole lot of XP. Or, maybe not as much as the first one, the first time around, but still. Yeah, I don't think it didn't really drop that much as the first dragon did. But I feel like the Ender Dragon, if I had to say, is probably a good solution too. But there's only one more solution I can talk about, or I can say, and I can actually build it. This one I can actually build. I think we need to go 20 blocks. We gotta make sure that they don't die when the mobs spawn, or fall. We gotta make sure that the mobs don't fall. I know I should be building this in the overworld, but we're gonna do a test. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Again, we gotta make sure. Are they gonna die? Okay. Let me try 21. Try 22. Okay, at least 22 or 20 so blocks. Again, just as long as they don't die when they hit the ground. Normally I do 22. Sometimes I do 21 blocks high. Again, as long as they don't die when they hit the ground, it's good. As long as they don't hit the ground, it's all good. And this farm is really good for loading. Like, if you get loading, this farm will be good. I do recommend y'all use slabs as well. Any slabs is fine, though. Right? Any slabs is fine. And, of course, you gotta cover this part, too. Well, you do gotta make sure that you can actually... You gotta do it like this, because you gotta hit the mobs. You gotta hit the mobs itself with your sword. And, of course, the items will go through the slabs into the chest. Again, this is the one that I use a lot. I don't really use a whole lot of food XP ones, though. Besides the potato one. The potato one is really the only food XP exploit that I used. I had never used any other farmed ones. Okay, so I gotta remember when it comes to how many far... Because it needs to be when we pour the water, it needs to be 1 block not covering. So, I know I didn't even count. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. let me try 10. Again, we got to make sure all the blocks spread with water except one. Let me see. Again, it's got to be... Okay, so we did it a bit too far. So I think that's 8 blocks, I'm pretty sure. Okay, like that. We gotta have it like this. So the mobs, when they spawn... Again, this is for the overworld, really. This farm is really for the overworld, of course. But I'm just giving it an example. It's really recommended you build this farm in the overworld because, obviously, it wouldn't work for Enderman. Right, Enderman wouldn't work in this, but of course the mobs would spawn, they would fall down here, and of course, you can smite them normally with one hit, and of course not all the time, but you do get XP and the items too. So, what was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, gotta make sure that it's one. Gotta make sure that it's one far, or hanging by one block, like that. It's gotta work like that, or it's just not gonna work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, it's really recommended that you do use, actual solid blocks. And okay, we messed that up there. Again, again, I don't normally build these a whole lot, so sometimes I still can mess up with these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me see if that is. Pretty sure. Again, build it in the overworld. Okay, it's really 8. Really 8. 8 blocks far. Yeah, really 8 blocks far. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, no, it's 9. It's 9. Because again, I guess if you don't count these blocks. Okay. Sometimes I thought it was 8. And then, of course, you would be... These platforms are not going to be filled with water, of course. They're going to be filled in. Again, once again, make sure you build this farm in the overworld, because really it would kind of be pointless if you build it in any of the dimensions. Right? It would be kind of pointless building this in the end, because Endermen hate water and they would just teleport. This farm is really used for overworld mobs, not so much any of the other dimensions. And I think we have to go like this high, like 3 blocks high. 2 blocks or 3 blocks. Again, it can't be too low because, again, we do need the mobs to spawn. And you need to have the whole room pitch black. And of course the mobs won't spawn immediately, right? Like, once you build this, of course in the overworld, it will give some time. It will take some time for the mobs to spawn. Because, of course, they're not going to spawn in immediately. You have to wait. Like every other mob farm. You have to wait for the said mob to spawn. It would seem like, with me been playing Minecraft for ever since it came out, you'd think I would know the best farm strategies, but again, I don't normally do a whole lot of these farms, of course, right? I'm not all big in that whole farm situation, that whole farm process. Not really that good with the farms. Normally it's food farms that I do. But when it comes to mob farms, not normally the biggest when it comes to the mob farms. Or at least how to do it properly. You know. And again, I doubt... Obviously, when... Like, if you're watching this later, when a certain patch comes out, too. Like, most farms, of course, come or would be patched, right? Like, you may build a farm that would be as a bug, right? An exploit. And of course, once it gets patched, that said farm will stop working. Just like that nether, or not the nether, the end exploit with the wither, that you would stuck the wither inside the, somehow get it underneath the end portal to get back to the overworld, and it would be suffocating and immediately killing the wither, or without even having to hit it or anything. One of the best wither farms that there were, but before it got patched. A lot of patching, I can just say. I'm surprised I haven't built this farm in my survival let's play yet. You know, my current survival let's play world. I'm surprised I haven't built one of these farms yet. Again, just have it like this. I guess I should give examples, of course, right? Oh, I didn't fill in these. Well, it doesn't matter, because we're in the end. Right? It doesn't matter because we're in the end dimension. So no mobs are going to really spawn here anyway. But let's say if we were in the end. Of course, after some time, mobs would be spawning. Like creepers, skeletons, zombies, etc. They would be spawning. And of course, be going down here, eventually. They'd be falling down here. And again, make sure that you would get, where is it? Loading. Where is loading at? Loading. Loading would definitely help too, right? Loading will definitely help when it comes to days. I definitely recommend loading. Again, y'all would know better farms. Y'all would find out better farms than I do, but... And of course, eventually, there would be so many that y'all could just take out here. Sometimes the items will just come out, like, on top of the chest, but that's okay. That's okay. And say, we got pretty good amount of XP, and we got 34 pieces of gunpowder. We got 34 pieces of gunpowder for not even really that much creepers, at least. Right? Not... Like, let's just say if we spawn a lot. Again, don't make sure there's not a whole lot, though, because obviously, when it comes to how much the game can handle so many mobs. But again, I always find this to be a good farm for XP. Again, there's lots of farms in Minecraft. There are lots of better farms in Minecraft. And look at that. We got a stack and 44. We got a stack and 44. And again, that's just from creepers. You can get lots more from skeletons, zombies, you know, with rotten flesh, potatoes, carrots, you know. This is just from creepers, of course. But I tried to explain as much as I can when it comes to what I think would be the best mob farming, of course. But I just can't really... Not a whole lot, at least, of when it comes to what I feel that is the best mob farm. Or at least efficient way to get XP. This is what I know, though, of course. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments section below, and catch y'all next one.